Hi everyone, Hussein is here from HTM Solar and Electrical. Following my first video clip about the switchboard upgrading for one of my customer, I thought it's better to provide some basic knowledge about electrical services inside residential properties. I believe by educating homeowners, they can actually make a better decision when it comes to any kind of alternation inside the switchboard or even inside the property, and also they can realize what's the difference between a good job and a bad job. So today I'm going to talk about what you will see inside your switchboard. Uh, Based on the age of the house, you may see one of these two inside your house. The first one is the fuse, one of the basic elementary devices that you can find in the old houses, not in the new houses anymore. It's not in the market and it's not acceptable anymore anyway, but that looks like that. Ceramic body sometimes it's actually plastic as well. The main fuse by itself can be also whether plastic or like this one, the major part is somehow is a ceramic. Very simple mechanism. That's the base connected to the board. That's it inside. There is a wire that connects the top and the bottom together. When there is any kind of overload, excessive overloads, the current pass through the wire, because that's part of a circuit. The current pass through the wire generates the heat, and the heat breaks the wire. And that's an indication that there is some sort of overload inside the circuit, because by breaking the wire, the circuit stopped working. The next one is that after that one, somehow something like this came to the market. It's actually something that still you can find in the Bunning perhaps. That's a circuit breaker with the fitting of the fuse. So you don't need actually to replace the base one. All you need to do is take this one and replace it with that one. It gives you the chance actually to not rewire it like this one. And everyone there is a fault in the circuit, you can actually, it's going to trip the circuit. You can actually, is an indication for you there is a fault. When the fault has been removed, you can trip it back on. The disadvantage of using the fuse, apart from being very basic, was that everything works based on the wire that's connect these two together. If you mess up with the wiring like this one, that they use the double string, or if you use the wrong size of wire, you actually mess up the protection that this one's supposed to provide for the cabling inside the house. So it's quite tricky, and it's not something that you can go for any kind of, I don't know what kind of innovation or whatever you want to call it, and think out of the box and say okay, I'm gonna make it double so there's a less chance to break. Well, that breaks for a reason, and it has to break. When you stop it from the breaking, you actually put yourself, your wiring, and your house at the risk of the fire and the burning. So please do not do that. If you have still one of those things at home, do not be smart. Just go through the instruction and do what you have to do. Or if you don't have it, or you think you may not have the proper size of fuse, whether take that one to the electrical wholesaler, see what they recommend, or get what they recommend and purchase that one, or you call your local electrician and ask them to fix that one for you. The next step is this one. Instead of having the ceramic fuse and have this one attached inside, there is actually the circuit breaker comes by one unit by itself. As you will see, the circuit breaker like this one, like even the fuse, the wiring inside the fuse, all of them has a current rating capacity based on the existing wiring inside the house. So you always have to stick to the current capacity of the cable. So what you will see in here is the circuit breaker. Circuit breaker exactly work like this one. The wire, for example, attached from the top or the bottom. One comes from the grid supply connection. The other one goes to the load or your appliances or the power point or the light. So what it does is that if there is any kind of a overload, whether it's excessive overload or a small overload, can be detected by the circuit breaker, and the circuit will trip. Is an indication that there is a fault by your appliances or somewhere else, or even inside the wiring. So when the problem has been resolved, you can trip it back on. There is a less chance of messing up with that one, because there is nothing you can do about anything inside the circuit breaker. The next step is safety switch. This one that I have in my hand, it's actually safety switch slash circuit breaker. The appearance somehow looks the same as the circuit breaker. As you see, the difference is there is a small switch like this one, which letter T has been written on it. T stands for test. That means it provide all the protective advantages of this one plus the safety switch. Safety switch, what is called safety switch? The correct name for that is actually residual current devices. What it does is that it has a mechanism inside of it can detect the electrical leakage. By that means if it constantly monitoring what the current flow goes through the active wire and comes back through the neutral. So if there is any kind of a leakage from either active or the neutral to the earth, for example via the body of the appliances, which is a metal, or through your body or something, it can be detected. So if the current goes from the active wire is not exactly the same current comes back from the neutral, the circuit can detect that one and it shut the circuit. They shut the circuit by tripping the switch. The sensitivity of this device is about 25 milliamp and above. So anything in that range or more can be detected quickly by this device, and this is gonna shut the circuit. Last but not the least, what you need to know is that people usually think that whatever they see inside their switchboard, whether it's a safety switch, fuse, or circuit breaker, is to protect their appliances or whatever they want to connect. That is not true. All the protective devices that you find inside the house, inside the switchboard, actually is mainly to protect your cable and the wiring inside the house and stop them to getting damaged or overheated or burning of the insulation. So based on that, what I need to tell you is that the circuit breaker or any protective device inside the switchboard, which is connected to the one set of wiring or two, they have to match with each other in terms of current capacity rate. I hope this video has helped you a little bit to have some knowledge about what you see inside the switchboard. Feel free to shoot me a message, email, or a direct call if you have any question or concern or you want to have any consultation. If you have any question about what you see and what I said so far, if you let me know, I will try to cover it in the next video that I'm gonna make. You can reach me on htmelectrical.com.au via Facebook page, website, or email or Instagram. And also you can simply just comment under my video which I uploaded so far. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.